the weather forecast with Coloca and its multipurpose banquet hall, Il Palazzo.
Hi there, it's such a pleasure to have your attention once more on this edition of the weather forecast, and hope your evening is coming on really great. We would have a calm weather dominate the nation tonight, with temperatures dropping to as low as 21 degrees in the Adamawa region, 22 in the far north, and 23 degrees expected in the east region. We'd also expect as low as 24 degrees in the south region, with the littoral, southwest, and the north region to range between 25 to 29 degrees. We take you onto the center region, where this evening there is no chance of precipitation, and by morning it would be the same experience, with the least temperature in Ngumu and Fu at 23 degrees. Onto the northwest region this evening, there would be no possibility of precipitation, and same thing by morning, with the least temperature at Kambe, which is 16 degrees. And lastly, we take you onto the west region, where it may drizzle in the town of Bafang tonight, and by morning there would be no chance of precipitation in the west region. So you can find time to go see what the Bamina Chiefdom looks like. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Women have been called upon to go beyond the euphoria of wining and dining on Women's Day and embrace reflections on their achievements and future plans as they prepare to commemorate the 35th edition of the International Women's Day. Farmers in Koteng and Twi on the way for better production after being reassured by Agriculture Minister that their problems will find final solutions. Minister Gabriel Bairobe went from farm to farm, understanding the worries of cocoa producers as a way to boost the sector. Plus, Indomitable Lions coach calls 33 to camp to prepare for the qualifying AFCON match against Mozambique, with former captain Nicolas Nkulu making a comeback, while two home-based players make their first appearances. And those are top stories. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on the 7:30 News. I'm Gladys Tata. Purchasing the Women's Day fabric and making merry is no longer a priority for most women, talk less of female associations as they brace up to commemorate Women's Day on March 8. Most of them now opt for educative talks and seminars to enlighten themselves and their peers on how to explore their potentials. Rainatu Sali reports on some of their activities.
They sing and dance to their achievements as Bayam Selams, but amidst the frenzy is a desire to achieve even more and leave a legacy as they prepare to celebrate the International Women's Day. On their agenda,
we are going to the Swiss Embassy. We'll have a meeting with them, a program with them. And then we are also going to Camtel for some special talks with them, which they have to educate us, the women, on how to manage our activities well.
Women's Day celebrations for many associations go beyond purchasing the fabric and making merry.
Women's Day is not only for us to wear new wrapper every year. Wherever a woman is, let the woman take the challenge to transform this nation.
Women in ministries and
some technical hitches there. We shall be coming back to that report by Rainatu Sali. And as women gear up to celebrate the International Women's Day, the usual worry over the feasting and dressing part of the ceremony seems to have taken central stage. But some women of prominence think otherwise. They are calling on women to reflect more on what they have achieved so far and what they expect to achieve. Beatrice Ngum had a chat with some of these female intellectuals and now reports.
Women, they have fought their way into positions of responsibility in Cameroon, according to recent statistics.
In 2013, we went to 31, and now I've got the last information saying that the past election gave 33. That means 2 more out of 360.
Although these figures are impressive, the intellectual class of the women folk thinks women still lack self-confidence. They must transcend fear to excel in their different areas of competence.
Young girls leaving university, the common woman in the market will go and fish them out. We will train them, the ones that will have interest to become entrepreneurs, so that they should develop, and together we contribute for our dear nation.
They should be daring.
Women doing agriculture, you should do it well in order to bring your own support in our economy. Women doctors, you should do it well to make sure that tomorrow we have many women as the director of hospital centers.
We can dance, but before dancing, we have to show what can we do, how to build or overcome difficulty to be on top of business.
Thus, the intellectual woman is clamoring for a change of mentality. She thinks the common woman should be schooled not to see the fabric and the feasting first, but the path covered this far and what is left to be done.
As we were talking a while ago, purchasing the Women's Day fabric and making merry is no longer a priority for most women, togglers or female associations as they brace up to commemorate Women's Day on March 8. Most of them now opt for educative talks and seminars to enlighten themselves and their peers on how to explore their potentials. Rainatu Sali reports once more on some of their activities.
They sing and dance to their achievements as Bayam Selams, but amidst the frenzy is a desire to achieve even more and leave a legacy as they prepare to celebrate the International Women's Day. On their agenda,
on the 29th, we are going to the Swiss Embassy. We'll have a meeting with them, a program with them. And then we are also going to Camtel for some special talks with them, which they have to educate us, the women, on how to manage our activities well.
Women's Day celebrations for many associations go beyond purchasing the fabric and making merry.
Women's Day is not only for us to wear new wrapper every year. Wherever a woman is, let the woman take the challenge to transform this nation.
Women in ministries, NGOs and other associations are out to educate and empower their fellow women.
We sensitize women on so many things, like how to start a business and stand up for their rights. We organize educative talks to teach young girls and women how to take care of themselves.
Their objective is to spur women to explore their full potential, become autonomous and fight for their rights.
Away from Women's Day, Agriculture and Rural Development Minister Gabriel Bairobe has paid a working visit to the irrigated rice production unit in Avagane village in Koteng and the Cocoa Plants Nursery Cocoa Treatment Center and Palm Plantation in Tui. The visit enabled the minister to listen to the problems faced by the producers and how the Ministry of Agriculture can accompany them through capacity building so as to increase production. Cynthia Etim trailed the minister and has the details.
The irrigated rice production unit of Avangang in the Upper Sanaga division is famous for its mechanized agricultural techniques, experts say. From the cultivation of rice seeds, planting, harvesting, thrashing and processing, it is a complete value chain production. However, the unit is faced with some challenges.
We notice that the capacity of this unit is not at the level of all our need, so we'll try to empower this unit to give them a lot of materials.
Tui in the Bam Ekim division is known as the capital production basin of cocoa, palms, yams, cassava and maize. But the current production level of cocoa in this area is a cause for concern.
We have a lot of problems to produce sufficient plants because we need about 20 million plants of cocoa every year to achieve our goal. But now we are just producing between 8 and 9 million plants per year. This is not sufficient.
The target of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is to step up the production of cocoa and rice, not only to meet international demand, but also to satisfy domestic needs for mass consumption goods.
The results of the high-intensive labor use approach, a method applied by the government which entails hiring only low labor force in executing its projects, is being celebrated in the Far North region. Scores of councils in the region benefited from this initiative, funded by the government and its partners. The Far North region was the experimental group for the project, which kicked off 3 years ago to fight against economic hardship caused by Boko Haram. Beatrice Losamba has details of the story.
The Boko Haram scare sent development drivers thinking. The population's economy was on its knees, and the terrorist movement was recruiting young, frustrated job seekers by the day. The urgent answer to their need came from the high-intensive labor use approach.
We are using more than 6,000 young people who have worked on the project, and by training them, helping them to give their own project, it is today we can say that it's not possible for them to go again.
The experimental phase took off in 2015, engaging 11 projects and creating jobs for over 2,500 youths, helping 1,500 to reinvest earnings into businesses. Its success cost the government and its partners, the European Union Emergency Trust Fund through the French Development Agency, to inject over 6 billion CFA francs into 20 new council projects in December 2016. The result, 3,500 more youths were employed in the rehabilitation of roads, construction of water facilities, livestock ponds, and warehouses, which were priority projects for their councils. Over 2,500 laborers have settled to businesses, and many more learned skills. When the work is finished on the site, the infrastructure is given to the local community and to the council. For the local community, there is a steering or management committee there. From Bogo to Mogode, to Luman, Chigilao, Jagalai, Gavabai and Gemi, young people and women have become autonomous and experienced a turnaround in their routines.
Over in the southwest region, the newly elected mayor of Nguti, Tony George Eno, has promised to reinstall an atmosphere of peace and serenity within the municipality. He was speaking after his installation following a 100% vote in his favor by councillors of this municipality. Guy Rogenana reports from CRTV Southwest in Boya.
The former principal of Government High School Diongo in Konya Subdivision, Tong George Eno, was given full suffrage by the 25 councillors that participated in the session that lasted less than 45 minutes. The newly elected mayor, who is at his second mandate of office, has promised to work alongside the community to achieve development.
I lack words to express gratitude to them for the confidence they bestowed on me. We should work in unison so that we can produce.
Some priority projects have already been identified to push the community forward.
Water, electricity, roads, they will go to all the 9 clans within the subdivision.
The town of Nguti has been one of the worst hit by the ongoing crisis plaguing the English-speaking regions of the country. However, relative calm is returning to the locality as many of those who had fled their homes are gradually coming back.
In a related development, the new mayor of Lolodov Council in the Ocean Division of the South Region is Félicien René Mbala. Together with the Executive Council, he was voted this weekend in a session as of right, during which 11 councillors abstained from the voting process. Cynthia Saptala is just back from Lolodov and has the details.
The session as of right electing the new mayor of Lolodov and his deputies was no easy task. It was during a second session, and after 11 of the 25 municipal councillors stormed out, that the 14 unanimously voted Félicien René Mbala as the new mayor of Lolodov.
My task is the local development and the well-being of the population.
Under the supervision of the administrative authority and following the regulations stipulated in the Electoral Code, the newly elected were told to always strive for peace within the council.
They have, first of all, to bring peace within the council. We have 11 councillors who did not take place to the session. The new municipal executive have to bring them together. They have to show that they are able to bring local development in Lolodorf.
The new mayor replaces the late Emmanuel Ngiamba Losiri, known for his commitment to the development of the council.
The population of the Adamawa region has reassured the head of state of their commitment to defend the interest of the country and promote peace and stability. This was during a support walk on the streets of Ngaoundéré, which ended with prayers for protection over Cameroon. Elvis Waji Banmia reports from Ngaoundéré.
In an impressive show of patriotism, inhabitants of the Adamawa turned out in their numbers to stage a walk along the streets of Ngaoundéré. Carrying placards and banners, they sent strong signals of how they have the country at heart and are more than ever before interested in the affairs of the nation.
We want to say no to whoever wants to destabilize this country. Cameroonians have problems and we believe that we can solve our problems by ourselves.
Chanting patriotic songs, inhabitants of the Adamawa went through major streets and roundabouts of Ngaoundéré, expressing an unflinching support for their country and its leader. Adamawa Patriarch El Haj Muhammadu Abu Usmanu, who also joined the march, reminded all that Cameroon is a sovereign state with a wise leader. Also present were custodians of the tradition who shared a similar viewpoint.
Cameroon is united. Cameroons have no lesson to receive from abroad.
After flooding the streets of Ngaoundéré, inhabitants moved to the governor's office, where a motion of support was handed to Governor Kyodadi Tageke Bukar.
The finals of the maiden edition of the Challenge School a Palme d'Or de l'Excellence has held this Saturday in Yaoundé. The one-month event aimed at valorizing the cultural and creative side of youths while giving them a moment of pleasure despite their high involvement in studies. Bao Ngo Francis has more in this report.
Église adventiste du 7e jour, Union Mission du Cameroun, c'est le 4 novembre 2019 à Abidjan, en Côte d'Ivoire, que furent créées les fédérations Mbam Sanaga et Nyon Afamba.
Well, we're sorry for that mix-up there. Some 40 Christians of the Bethel parish of the Église Presbyterienne Camerounaise who underwent training on computer sciences have been awarded and, of course, attestations. The award ceremony took place during a church service that was attended by the resident representative of the African Institute of Computer Sciences, Armand Claude Abanda. Victor Siga tells us more.
Within a vibrant and solemn ceremony, these men and women happily received the fruit of their effort after a one-week intensive training on ICT.
On the occasion of the activities marking the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the church, he agreed to train some 50 women and young men. More to that, he has agreed to put in place some ICT equipment here for the church that will help continue the initiative we have.
As we announced earlier on, the finals of the first edition of the Challenge School a Palme d'Or de l'Excellence has held this Saturday in Yaoundé. The one-month event aimed at valorizing the cultural and creative side of youths while giving them a moment of pleasure despite their high involvement in studies. Once more, Bao Ngo Francis tells us more.
Learning without playing makes Jack a dull boy and Mary a dull girl. After almost non-stop learning, children equally need some time to distress and get entertained. This is the mission of the Challenge School a Palme d'Or de l'Excellence competition, whose final was held this Saturday at the Sianto University Institute.
Nous avons
We organize this event to reward African and cultural excellence and valorize Cameroonian youths. With this, we wish to blend education and leisure. We need not only concentrate all the time, it is important to also relax.
From brain trust, dancing and singing, several school students came to test their diverse competences in a jovial atmosphere.
It is a good event because we have children from many schools who come and perform. We have to mix the leisure and school.
I love the challenge. I love the competition because the distraction is very, very good.
From the pleasures the students derive from it, they shall certainly impatiently wait for next year's edition.
Well, let's come back to this report by Victor Siga, who is talking on some 40 Christians of the Bethel parish of the Église Presbyterienne Camerounaise who underwent training on computer sciences and were awarded end-of-course attestations.
Within a vibrant and solemn ceremony, these men and women happily received the fruit of their effort after a one-week intensive training on ICT.
On the occasion of the activities marking the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the church, he agreed to train some 50 women and young men. More to that, he has agreed to put in place some ICT equipment here for the church that will help continue the initiative. We are grateful.
For over 1 week, they were trained on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, internet and social media, and entrepreneurship.
It's going to help me in my studies, for further studies. It's really important because, as we all know, the world now is all about ICT. So if we have this kind of diploma, we're sure to have a lot of Cameroonians doing great in the various services that they attend to.
The resident representative of the African Institute for Computer Sciences reiterated the need to make good use of the skills acquired for the growth of the church.
The National Gendarmerie Road Safety Team is bent on tracking down all delinquent road users on Cameroonian highways. The task force was on the Yaoundé-Douala National Road No. 3, sensitizing and educating road users while recalcitrant ones sanctioned. Kilian Dandifon was there. His report.
The highway may look open and free in front of you, and you even disrespect other people and yourself. But watch out for speed limits and other highway code exigencies. The National Gendarmerie Road Safety Task Force will pin you down, and your journey will turn sour because the offense touches your pocket.
Nous plaçons le radar sous un panneau.
We position our radar operator near a speed limiting signboard. He flashes vehicles that disrespect speed limits and communicates specific information about the vehicle, like registration numbers, speed, etc.
L'immatriculation du véhicule et la vitesse.
On the Yaoundé-Douala National Road No. 3 this weekend, angry drivers who doubted their offenses swallowed their pride after verification with the radar.
La gendarmerie n'est pas là à la recherche.
The National Gendarmerie is not out for money. Any person who commits any offense has the right to pay or give their statement, and we simply transmit it to the competent legal authority.
Soit d'être entendu.
It is the 262nd phase of the road safety campaign, and road accidents have been reduced by 40%, while deaths have been curtailed by 30% on the Cameroonian highways, and the National Gendarmerie is on the front line.
The city of Limbe in the southwest region is bracing up to host two big events in the next few months. The 7th edition of the Limbe Festival of Arts and Culture Festac and the Shan 2020, where Limbe shall host some of the matches. The city mayor of Limbe, Andrew Motanga Monjimbo, has met with the press and the public of Limbe to brief them on the council's preparations for both events. Charles Abuno tells us more from CRTV Southwest in Boya.
6 previous editions of the Limbe Festival of Arts and Culture Festag have always been held in the month of April. However, due to the Chan 2020, which begins in April, the Limbe Festag 2020 shall run from the 28th of March to the 4th of April. There are a number of innovations in this year's edition of the Limbe Festag.
There will be a competition for poetry and painting in primary and secondary schools that will be launched this year.
With regards to the Chan 2020, the collaboration of the Limbe population is very necessary for a good hosting. Preparations for both events in Limbe is expected to gather momentum in the days ahead.
In culture, let's discover our artist of the week. Princess Claudia is a Cameroonian singer who has been in the music industry for over 20 years. From singing in her church choir to going solo as from 2017, the musical journey of Princess Claudia is quite interesting. Bawongo Francis now profiles our artist of the week in the following report.
She had humble beginnings, but today her voice and charisma is a household treasure in Cameroon's music industry. Princess Claudia has a rich musical CV. Born on the 28th of August 1981 in Algeria, the artist, by real name Claudia PATYCHOU, understands music from the basis to the summit. Initiated by her father and charmed by her music idols such as Miriam Makeba and Bebe Manga, Princess Claudia took on her music passion some 20 years ago from singing in church choirs, doing backup and choruses in studio for artists such as Viviane Etienne and Racine Sagat. After trying some popular music competitions such as Music Star and Star de Domaine in early 2000s, she finally met her glory as a cabaret singer where she spent 10 unforgettable years. After amassing all this rich musical experience, she goes solo in 2017 and has released her single, Satirat. The hit, inviting ladies to be autonomous, is making waves on the music scene. Meantime, she has 3 more singles cooking up in the studio before the release of a full album in 2021. So, music lovers, watch out, for next year might just be the year of Princess Claudia.
To this obituary, tributes have been pouring out from all over the Northwest region and beyond for former mayor of Njinikom, Terence Chan Bam, who died on the 12th of February 2020. The senior divisional officer for Boyo, Fidel Tenyi, described him as an astute municipal administrator, an example to be emulated by municipal authorities during this era of decentralization. Winston Lepka tells us more from Bamenda.
This is Terence Chabam, the former mayor of Njinikom from 2013 to 2020, who was born on March 4, 1968. The authorities, friends, admirers and well-wishers joined family members in paying tribute to the man, also known as T-Boy.
He worked with dynamism till his death.
Terence Chabam is popular in Bamenda for being a history teacher at Progressive Comprehensive Secondary School from 1989 to 2013, where he rose to being discipline master amongst other positions, and he had been Young Sport Academy's team manager prior to being elected mayor.
I'll miss his leadership skills, and that's one thing I've learned from him, leadership especially.
We are deeply touched by his death, and we can only say the good die young. Let him rest in peace.
Terence Chabam had suffered from a protracted illness and succumbed to it on Wednesday, February 12, 2020. His remains have been buried in his compound in Fuanantui, a locality in Njinikom subdivision.
And may his soul rest in peace. And on to sports, the head coach of Cameroon's Indomitable Lions, Antonio Consaiseo has published a list of 33 players shortlisted for the double confrontation to pit Cameroon's Indomitable Lions against Mozambique, scheduled this March for the qualifiers for the 2020 AFCON. Conspicuous on the list is the return of Captain Nicolas Kulu making his comeback into the den, alongside two home-based players called up for the first time. Baldwin Sama in the following report reads through the list of players called to camp. Baldwin?
Antonio Conceição's list of players is a blend of old and new guards, especially those confirming their positions in the national football team of Cameroon. On the list are two home-based players called to camp for the first time: goalkeeper Yannick Epanelitizi of Stade Rennais of Melong, who has been part of the Intermediate Lions training camps, and forward Aboubakary Sidiki of Union Sportif of Douala. Making their return into the Lions' den years after Anga Fabrice of Raja of Casablanca in Morocco and Alan Nyom of Getafe. Two former players of the Under-23 Football Lions have gained promotion into the Senior Lions: Samuel Umgwet, former captain of the Under-23 Football Lions, and Grenada's Ian Eteki Breeze. Making his debut with the Senior Football Lions is forward Onana Jean of Lille in France. Quite interesting on the list is the return of former captain of the Indomitable Lions, Nicolas Kulu of Torino in Italy, making his return into the Lions' den 3 years after. The other players are the regulars, with 4 goalkeepers, among them the key ones Fabrice Ondua and Andre Onana, 11 defenders, among them Fine Govan Collins and Michael Ngando Gadri, 8 midfielders with maestros Zambo Anguissa and Kunde Malong among, with the attacking machinery to be manned by Eving Maxime Choupo-Moting and Vincent Aboubakar.
3 Cameroonian boxers and the tennis player Sarah Hanfo have qualified for this year's Tokyo Olympic Games. The athletes are amongst the first Cameroonian athletes to qualify for the competition, while waiting for the results of other competitions that will enable more athletes pick qualification tickets. Baldwin Sama once more reports on those who have already qualified for the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Cameroonian boxers so far who have picked their qualification tickets for this year's Olympic Games. Among the 3 is Cameroon's 2016 Olympic Games flag bearer Wilfried Seyi in the middleweight category, who was stronger in his fight against his Ugandan opponent to secure his place at this year's Olympic Games. His other mates, Yengnong Njieyi Maxime in the plus 91 kilograms category, defeated Moroccan boxer Ahmed Bourous to qualify. Meanwhile, Menge Ayisi Albert in the minus 69 kilograms category overpowered Boagi Shedden of Uganda to secure his place. Out of the 8 boxers who competed for Cameroon, just these 3 have picked their qualification tickets. In tennis, emblematic table tennis powerhouse Sarah Hanfo was simply impressive during the second qualifying round in Tunisia the weekend. She ended up second in her group behind Nigerian Oshonaike Funke, as both have grabbed their qualification tickets for Tokyo this year. In judo, Helen Uweze, 2019 best female athlete in Cameroon, and Vanessa Atangana have temporarily secured enough points to permit them be in Tokyo this year while waiting for their confirmation in May. Other qualification tickets are expected from wrestling, weightlifting, athletics, and especially the football lionesses, who must dismiss Zambia to be present in Tokyo come August.
Cameroon's cricket Indomitable Lions have today picked up a 110 runs to 41 victory over the India Commonwealth Cricket selection. The friendly encounter, which took place on the playground of Lycée Leclerc here in Yaoundé, counts as one of the key activities in this year's Commonwealth Day celebrations in Cameroon, and were watched, amongst others, by the Indian High Commissioner to Cameroon, His Excellency Rakesh Malhotra. Jeffrey Abane has more.
An Indian bowl and a Cameroonian bat, features of just a game but testifying to the friendly ties both nations enjoy, bound by their belonging to the Commonwealth.
Well, it is absolutely nice to see that local Indian people here, they are playing today with the Cameroonian national team, and it is a link between Cameroon and India, and it will certainly give the relationship a boost.
Today's friendly between Cameroon's cricket Indomitable Lions and the India Commonwealth Cricket Selection is key in this year's celebrations of the Commonwealth Day in Cameroon. Standing tall as a prime beneficiary of this Indo-Cameroonian Commonwealth relationship is the Cameroon Cricket Federation, welcoming home two of its young talents from a recent training camp in India.
The Indian government, through their High Commission here in Cameroon, we had they sponsored two Cameroonians, a girl and a boy, who spent 1 month in the Bengaluru Cricket Academy. They had a lot of training there and they have come, they have joined the national team. This is development indeed. 110 runs to 41 in favor of Cameroon. The final score, the Lions are bracing up well towards upcoming international commitments.
Cameroon's under-17 football Lionesses this afternoon defeated their counterparts of Sao Tome and Principe 4-0 in the away leg second qualifying round for this year's under-17 Football World Cup. And that does it on the 7:30 news. Thanks for watching. Do join Atta Badine Umar in under 30 minutes for the Ventotan. I'll be here from Friday, but you'll be in the company of Moki Edwin Kenzeka as from tomorrow. Until then, the technical crew join me in wishing you a pleasant week. Good night.